How's it going, pipe drivers? This is James with Pipedrive, and today we're going to talk about workflow automation, which is basically your key to saving yourself shitloads of time with everyday repetitive tasks. How would you like, for instance, to be able to have an email automatically sent to your contact whenever you moved a deal into another stage of your pipeline? Or what if activities could be automatically assigned to the right person whenever you move a deal or update a contact? Setting up such processes will also help you eliminate human error and streamline your sales process across your entire team. Even better, this also means that onboarding new team members will be as easy as lemon squeezy pie. Just remember that with great power comes great responsibility. I mean, we could set up all sorts of workflows that affect other users, so we want to exercise some caution and tender loving care when doing this. If you're an admin user, you'll be able to see your entire company's workflows and disable or enable them if needed. Although you can't edit them, just so you know. You can only edit your own. Although you can set up workflows that will assign activities to other Pipedrive users, for example. You should also know that if you want to set up a workflow that involves sending out an email, then this has to be set up with the user account of the person who owns that email address that's being used to send the email. Sending an email automatically also requires that you have email sync enabled, but it's worth noting that admin users can enable or disable other users' ability to create workflows. But let's stop dilly-dallying and make a workflow. And let's give it a title and a description if you want to document in detail what the workflow is for. Next, you'll need to define what triggers the automation in the first place. So this could be many things, such as whenever a deal is moved to another stage in your pipeline, or when a deal or contact or activity is created, updated, or deleted. So let's say whenever we make a new contact, we want a deal to automatically be created and added into the first stage of our pipeline for that contact. Now let's add an action to create a deal. Starting with the deal title, just hit the open bracket and you'll get a list of fields that can automatically populate the title of this deal. In this case, I want the title of the deal to be named after the contact person's name, or I could choose the organization's name and many other options. Lastly, let's make sure that the deal gets assigned to whoever created the new contact in the first place. Although you could have it assigned to a specific user if you wanted. But it can get even more sophisticated than that. Let's say we don't want deals automatically being created for just any contact person. What if we only want them to be created for specific qualified contacts? Well, we can set up specific rules on what conditions the contact person has to meet to qualify for the automated action. So let's say I only wanted contacts that come from California to get a deal created for them. There are quite a few possibilities, but pretty nifty, eh? And I should mention that you can also specify whether or not this workflow can be triggered by anybody in the entire Pipedrive account or just yourself. Now, once you're all done creating your workflow, just be sure to enable it and you're good to go. So let's try this out. By the way, this is the quick add button. It lets you create new items like deals and contacts or activities from pretty much any screen in Pipedrive. Bam! Now, after we created our first contact person, there's our deals sitting pretty in the first stage of our pipeline. But hey, let's get even more crazy while we're at it. Let's add a second workflow here that also schedules an activity on the same deal that's created. So in this case, we want the trigger to be when the new deal is added to this first stage of our pipeline. Then we'll want to set up an action to schedule a new activity. So let's also define when the activity should be due and who it's assigned to, and make sure that it's linked to the right deal. Time to test it out. What? Now whenever I create a contact person in Pipedrive, it'll automatically create a deal in my first activity for me? Shut the front door, what a time saver. But so the big picture here is that you can set up any number of complex automation workflows using any combination of Pipedrive's default fields or any custom fields that you create for that matter. The possibilities are just limitless-ish. So that's workflow automation, ladies and gentlemen. Follow the link at the end of the video to start setting up your own workflows now.